You know what you want. You've visualized it. You've made the vision boards. You've said the affirmations. You've done all the things you're supposed to do. And yet it's not here. You're still in the same situation, still struggling with the same problems, still waiting for your life to change. And you're starting to wonder, does this even work? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something broken in me? Why does it seem to work for everyone else, but not for me? Let me tell you something right now that might sting a little, but it's going to set you free. The reason you're not manifesting what you want is not because the law doesn't work. It's not because you're not worthy. It's not because the universe has forgotten about you. The reason you're not manifesting what you want is because you don't actually believe you have it. And I don't mean believe in your head. I mean believe in your bones, in your gut, in the very fabric of your consciousness. See, most people think that manifestation is about wanting something really badly and then doing techniques to try to get it. But that's not how this works. That's actually the exact opposite of how this works. Because every moment you're in the state of wanting, every moment you're in the state of trying to get it, you are affirming to yourself and to the universe that you don't have it. You are living in the lack of it. And the law of consciousness doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. It responds to your state of being. Think about it this way. If you really had $1 million in your bank account right now, would you be trying to manifest $1 million? No. You'd be thinking about what you're going to do with it. You'd be feeling abundant. You'd be feeling secure. You'd be relaxed about money. That's the difference. The person who has the thing and the person who wants the thing are in two completely different states of consciousness, and you cannot get what you want from the state of wanting it. You can only receive it from the state of already having it. This is what I mean when I say you have to live in the end. You have to occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not when it shows up. Now, right now, in your imagination, in your feeling, in your entire being, you must be the person who already has what you desire. Because creation is finished. Everything already exists. You're not creating something new. You're selecting which version of reality you're going to experience. And you select it by the state you occupy. But here's where most people get tripped up. They think they're occupying the state of having it, but they're not. They visualize for 5 minutes in the morning, and then they spend the rest of the day worrying about how it's going to happen, checking to see if there's any evidence yet, complaining about their current circumstances, and thinking thoughts that completely contradict the state they want to embody. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Let me tell you what's really happening. Your subconscious mind is listening to you all day long. It's taking orders from you every single moment. And it doesn't listen to what you say you want. It listens to what you feel. It listens to what you assume to be true. It listens to the state you're actually living in, not the state you're pretending to live in for 5 minutes during your morning visualization. If you spend 5 minutes imagining you're wealthy and then you spend the rest of the day feeling broke, worrying about bills, complaining about money, and feeling resentful of people who have what you want, which state do you think your subconscious is going to accept as real? The one you visited for 5 minutes, or the one you lived in for 23 hours and 55 minutes? Your subconscious accepts as true whatever you persist in feeling, whatever state you return to again and again and again. That's what hardens into fact in your physical world. So the first reason you're not manifesting what you want is because you're not actually living in the state of having it. You're visiting that state occasionally, but you're living in the state of not having it. You're living in the lack. You're living in the desire. You're living in the trying. And the law is perfectly reflecting that back to you. You're getting exactly what you're being, not what you're wanting, not what you're wishing for, what you're being. Now, here's the second reason. And this one is huge. You don't actually believe it's possible for you. Oh, you might believe it's possible in general. You might believe other people can have it. You might even believe the law works. But deep down, underneath all your affirmations and visualizations, there's a little voice that says, but not for me. Not someone like me. Not with my background, my past, my age, my circumstances. You've got a deeply held assumption that you're the exception to the rule. And let me tell you something about assumptions. Your assumptions are invisible to you. They're so deep, so automatic, so habitual that you don't even realize you have them. You think you're trying to manifest wealth, but you have an assumption that money is hard to come by. You think you're trying to manifest love, but you have an assumption that you're not lovable. You think you're trying to manifest health, but you have an assumption that your body is weak or broken. These assumptions are running in the background like software, creating your reality, and you're not even aware of them. This is why you have to become aware of your inner conversations. You have to start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself all day long, because those inner conversations reveal your assumptions. When something doesn't go your way, what do you say to yourself? When you think about your desire, what's the conversation happening in your mind? Is it, of course, this is happening for me, everything always works out for me? Or is it, I hope this works, I really need this. What if it doesn't happen? I've tried everything, and nothing works. Those inner conversations are not innocent, they're creative. They're forming your reality. Every thought you think that's saturated with feeling is planting a seed in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious doesn't judge whether it's a good seed or a bad seed. It just grows whatever you plant. So if you're planting seeds of doubt, fear, unworthiness, and lack, guess what you're going to harvest? More doubt, more fear, more unworthiness, more lack. You have to change your inner conversations. You have to start speaking to yourself the way you would speak if you already had what you want. You have to start thinking from the end, not about the end. Thinking from the end means you think as the person who already has it. You don't think, I wonder when I'll be successful. You think, I'm so grateful for my success. You don't think, I hope I meet the right person. You think, I'm so happy in my relationship. You don't think, I really want to be healthy. You think, I love how good I feel in my body. This is not positive thinking. This is not lying to yourself. This is choosing which reality you're going to occupy, because all of these realities exist right now. The version of you that's successful exists. The version of you that's in love exists. The version of you that's healthy exists. You're just not tuned into that frequency. You're tuned into the frequency of lack, of waiting, of hoping. And so that's what you're experiencing. Here's the third reason you're not manifesting what you want. And this is a big one. You're attached to the outcome. You're obsessed with the when and the how. You're checking every day to see if there's any evidence. You're looking for signs. You're getting anxious when you don't see movement. You're trying to control how it happens. And all of that is resistance. All of that is doubt. All of that is affirming that it's not here yet. When you plant a seed in the ground, do you dig it up every day to check if it's growing? No, because you'd kill it. You plant it, you water it, and you trust that nature is doing its work beneath the surface. You don't see anything happening for weeks, but you don't panic. You don't think, oh no, I guess this seed is broken. You trust the process. You know that in time, that seed will sprout and grow into exactly what it's meant to be. It's the same with your desires. When you impress your subconscious mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you've planted the seed. Now you have to trust. You have to let go. You have to stop digging it up with your doubt and your impatience and your need to control. You have to live as though it's already done. Because in consciousness, it is already done. The physical manifestation is just a matter of time. But if you keep living in the state of, it's not here yet, if you keep checking and worrying and wondering, you're interfering with the process. You're uprooting the seed before it has a chance to grow. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you give up on your desire. It means you stop trying to force it. It means you relax into the knowing that it's already yours. It means you trust the law. You trust that what you've impressed upon your subconscious mind with feeling must, by law, come to pass in your physical world. You don't need to know when. You don't need to know how. You just need to know that it is done. And here's something that's going to really challenge you. The fourth reason you're not manifesting what you want is because you're too focused on getting something outside of you to change how you feel inside of you. You think, when I get the money, then I'll feel secure. When I meet the person, then I'll feel loved. When I get the job, then I'll feel successful. But that's backwards. You have to feel it first. You have to generate the feeling independent of circumstances, because the feeling is what creates the thing, not the other way around. This is one of the hardest things for people to understand. They think the external world causes their feelings, but it's the opposite. Your feelings, your state of consciousness, creates your external world. So if you're waiting to feel abundant until you see money in your account, You will never have money in your account. If you're waiting to feel loved until someone shows up, that person will never show up. You have to feel it now. You have to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled now, independent of what your senses are telling you, independent of your current circumstances. This is what faith is. Not hoping something will happen someday, but knowing it's already done and feeling the reality of it now. Walking around in that feeling, thinking from that feeling, making decisions from that feeling, living your entire life from that feeling. Not because you're trying to trick the universe, but because in consciousness, which is the only reality, it is already done. You're just waiting for it to harden into physical form. And the more you live in that feeling, the faster it hardens. Now, the fifth reason you're not manifesting is closely related to this. You're still identifying with your old story. You're still seeing yourself as the person who doesn't have what they want. You're still telling people about your problems. You're still replaying your past failures. You're still defining yourself by your limitations. And every time you do that, you're recreating that reality. You're keeping yourself stuck in that version of yourself. You have to die to the old you. You have to let go of that identity. You have to stop being so loyal to your suffering. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. So many people are addicted to their story. They're addicted to being the victim, the underdog, the one who has it hard, the one who struggles. And they don't even realize it. But every time they tell that story, every time they complain, every time they explain why they can't have what they want, they're reinforcing that identity. They're choosing to remain that person. But you can choose differently. You can choose right now to assume a new identity, to see yourself as the person who has what they want, to drop the old story and claim a new one. This doesn't mean you deny your past. It means you stop giving it power. It means you stop letting it define you. It means you revise it if you need to. You go back in your imagination and replay those scenes the way you wish they had happened. You rewrite the narrative. You change the meaning you assigned to those events. And in doing so, you free yourself from the prison of your past. Because here's the truth. Your past doesn't exist anymore. It's over. It only exists as a memory in your mind right now. And you can change that memory. You can change the story. You can decide that from this moment forward, you are a new person. A person who has what they want. A person who is loved, abundant, healthy, successful, whatever it is you desire. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to earn it. You just need to assume it. And persist in that assumption. And this brings me to the sixth and possibly most important reason you're not manifesting what you want. You're not persisting. You try for a day or a week or even a month. And when you don't see immediate results, you give up. You go back to your old state. You fall back into doubt and fear and worry. You let your circumstances dictate your state instead of letting your state dictate your circumstances. And every time you do that, you're starting over. You're uprooting the seed. Persistence doesn't mean effort. It doesn't mean straining or struggling or forcing. It means gently, lovingly, faithfully returning to the state of the wish fulfilled every single time you notice you've wandered away from it. It means catching yourself when you start to worry and immediately switching back to the feeling of already having it. It means being so committed to your new state that nothing can shake you out of it. Not your circumstances, not other people's opinions, not the evidence of your senses. This is the test. This is where most people fail. They let what they see determine what they believe. But you have to be so rooted in your inner conviction that no matter what you see on the outside, you remain faithful to your assumption. You know that your imagination is the only reality. You know that what you're seeing is just the old reality, the one created by your old state. And you know that as you persist in your new state, your outer world must change to match it. It's law. It has to. But you have to persist. You have to be willing to assume your desire is fulfilled and walk by faith, not by sight. You have to be willing to live in the state of already having it, even when everything around you says you don't. This is not delusion. This is understanding how reality works. This is understanding that consciousness is the only reality and everything else is just a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. So let me bring this all together for you. You're not manifesting what you want because you're not truly living in the state of having it. You're living in the state of wanting it, which is the state of lack. You're not aware of your hidden assumptions that are contradicting what you say you want. You're attached to the outcome and trying to control the how and the when instead of trusting the law. You're waiting for the external world to change before you feel the feeling, instead of generating the feeling first. You're still identifying with your old story, your old self, your limitations, and you're not persisting in your new state long enough for it to harden into fact. But here's the good news. You can change all of this right now. In this very moment, you can decide to occupy a new state. You can assume your desire is already fulfilled. You can feel it as real. You can think from it instead of about it. You can change your inner conversations. You can let go of your old story. You can persist no matter what. And when you do, when you really do, your entire world will rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. This is not a maybe. This is not a hope. This is law. This is how consciousness works. What you assume to be true, what you feel to be real, what you persist in being, must manifest in your physical world. It has no choice. So stop trying to get what you want and start being the person who has it. Stop waiting for evidence and start living from the end. Stop looking outside yourself for validation and start trusting your own imagination. Stop giving power to your circumstances and start giving power to your consciousness. You are the creator. You always have been. The only question is, what are you going to create? Are you going to keep creating the same reality by remaining in the same state? Or are you going to step into a new state and watch your world transform? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And it starts right now, in this moment, with the state you choose to occupy.